It's time to BS.
So I'm kind of just winging this and hopefully hoping for the best at this particular point and see where it goes from there. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Time to BS. You know who I am by now. For those watching on YouTube, drinking some coffee because I haven't had coffee all day, so I'm a little tired here and there, but also haven't had a good weekend, to be honest here. As you're probably listening to this on a Tuesday when this comes out, by the time you're hearing this. But today's Sunday, and today's, one of my days off. And the only time I really get the place to myself. So I usually like to record podcasts at this time. And I've been meaning to get to this particular topic last week, but I want to talk about it here today. So a couple weeks ago was the 15-year anniversary of my wife's. It's a celebration of the life and career and fatherhood of my wife's late father. And we went to a diner. It was myself, my wife, her brother, my brother-in-law, his fiance, their two uncles, their aunt, and the grandparents. And it was it was a really neat time. But also I wanted to use that environment as an inspiration for this episode of this podcast. Typically the way I've been doing these things is I try to go through my brain and talk about some things I really enjoy talking about. And one of them happens to be one of the themes of this episode is diners. So, and I love a good old-fashioned diner. I love a good diner. And diners to me, what keeps drawing me back to a good diner, and here on Long Island, we have some of the New York in particular, the New York New York State as a whole, upstate, the five boroughs, and Long Island, which, depending on who you may ask, may also include Brooklyn and Queens as part of Long Island, but whatever. Diners in particular, there's something special about going to a good diner and you enjoying a cup of coffee, which I have today, stack of pancakes or a waffle, or you can get pretty much just about everything in a diner. Just about everything. And I went to this diner about, say, a few months ago, and I got myself, a small steak with a couple eggs and a few strips of bacon, and it was delightful. It was $20, like $25-$30 for the whole thing, and it was terrific. And a little salt on there, a little pepper, a little bit of hot sauce on the eggs. Yes, I do that. It's fantastic. Fight me. And I don't know. I wanted to give my 5 favorite diners list, and it's in no particular order, but Island Lake Diner in Holtzville / Lake Ronkonkoma, New York. I think it's more Lake Ronkonkoma, honestly, and that diner's so great. If you know Island Lake Diner, you know about the spaghetti tacos, the penny alla vodka tacos or something like, or the social media flares that you see on TikTok and stuff like that about that diner. Coram Diner, which is the one that we went to for my father-in-law and my wife's family and stuff like that. That diner holds a little bit more value to me because my grandmother and I would go there from time to time. My grandmother lived in Coram for a while, and she was born in Queens, lived in Coram for the rest of her life. And we would go there every now and then, and we would get some pancakes with my grandparents. We'd get some pancakes, some eggs, or then a coffee. And I enjoy like a milkshake here and there because I can. I was like 5 years. I was like 8 years old at the time. I could do this. I still have free will in that regard to this day. And a new favorite of mine has been the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, New York, which is a neat little place. And it has a lot of police memorabilia. My cousins go there a lot. The owners are awesome. And there's something really neat to be had about that. Because Nassau County, I'm not a huge fan of Nassau County, but I don't know. The food, the eating establishments in Nassau are top notch, honestly. But I'll go to Nassau. I will probably trek my rear end at the Nassau if given the opportunity. It's like, oh yeah, we're going into the Embassy Diner in Bethpage. I'm like, I'm in. I'm in. Let's go. Oconee Diner in Islip, New York, which if you know of that place, you know how hopping that place is. And it's also another police established diner dedicated to like first responders and stuff like that. And God, the food is awesome. That's the thing with diners. It's very hard to get a bad meal. Really difficult to get a bad meal, in my personal opinion. Doesn't mean I'm right. And Oconee gets it right, especially with if you want a burger, they have it. If you want a small steak, they have it, or a Salisbury steak, they have it. Pancakes, waffles. My personal favorite is the Blue Point Diner located in Blue Point, Long Island, New York. I've been going there since I was a child, and it's a small retro diner that's been around since like the 40s, I think, probably pre World War II, honestly. And there's the pictures in there. You see so many pictures of like the pictures with Jay Leno, pictures with Pamela Anderson or Dolly Parton or something like that, or Marilyn Monroe or someone like it's a small diner, but it's my favorite because of the environment. And the setting is so small. It's a closet. It's literally a closet diner. But the way the diner is laid out, the tables and the chair setup is like an L shape, and somewhere in that L is where the kitchen is, and you can see everyone. You could see them cooking. You can see them, and the waitress who's been there for God knows how long. She looks like a cat lady and she acts like a cat lady, but she's fantastic. Um, when I was younger, I would go to this diner and I would get the Blue Point Diner. I would get small stack of pancakes, 2 eggs, a few strips of bacon, and a chocolate milkshake. I am not making this up. And it was awesome. It was awesome. And I don't know if I talked about it in the last episode, but that's probably my favorite diner meal that I would get. That or they make great burgers over there. They really do. And by the way, a burger is not a sandwich. Piss off, it's not a sandwich. So here we go. I want to also talk about Time to Q&A makes a glorious return. And this week's edition of of Q&A, I want to know what are some tips and tricks used to improve your mental health? Uh, This is a hard question because to quote one of my favorite podcasts, The Freedom Friends, the hardest part with mental health is you really can't go inside somebody's pea brain screw around and fix shit with like screw with wires and all that stuff like a mechanic or a scientist or whatever. And Jesus take the wheel and hope for the best and raw dog it and free falling it the whole way through. You can't just do that. You cannot under any circumstances tell someone what to do with their mental health and hope for the best. You can't. What you can do is you can provide tools and avenues you both agree to be necessary in order for you to move forward. But in reality, is the most important person in your life is yourself. And that is in no way a slight on, you know, like that's no way a slight on um your significant other, your family, your parents, your friends. Like to quote my grandmother, the most important piece of ass in your life is your own. It's true. And like find things that you love to do and build your therapeutic sessions or moments around them. For me, for me personally, it's the water, diners, funny enough. This podcast, funny enough. Gaming as well. I enjoy gaming a lot. And I, I try to surround myself also with good people, which completely contradicts the point of, what I said before. It complete counterintuitive. Uh I try my best to surround myself with good people that I know I can enjoy life with and enjoy those things with. Um it it's hard to really put it into perspective of how much good people and people that actually motivate you to do better. Instead of just like say having crazy Steve over there in the corner who's the hobo on the side of the road, but also, he drinks himself to sleep every night. But if you find that person to be, helpful for your mental health, okay, whatever. Having some close friends or close family that you can count on and say, hey, if I need someone to help me bury a body, they'll help me out. That's good for your mental health. Another example I could say is just keeping your brain occupied, but not too occupied to the point where you're overwhelming yourself. That's personally what's helped me. Keep yourself occupied. And like, the whole you can only provide tools and avenues necessary to or for you to move forward. And the other thing I will say is like fear will ruin your fucking life, but only if you let it. Only if you let it. And I I think that's the other thing because anxiety in its how can I put this? In the kindest way humanly possible. Anxiety, depression as a whole is a silent killer. But your life doesn't need to revolve around fear. Like, I understand why people get anxious, but allowing yourself to move forward and allowing yourself to accept the things that what was is very helpful in treating in quotes depression. Allowing yourself to accept I don't know what the hell is going to happen tomorrow or in the next 10 minutes is helpful for treating anxiety. I know some people personally, very personally, who haven't been able to really they can barely go outside, essentially, and go into the world because of fear of what could happen. I don't know what it's like for everyone, but I know that's not a helpful way to live in that way. And it stings. It really stings because you want to do better. You want to, I'm sure everyone wants to do better with their life. And I'm just rambling at this point to try and stall for time, but anxiety's a bitch. It's anxiety's a bitch, dude. And um creating a great environment for people. Like I know someone who surrounds themselves with, put this kindly, uh like interesting people, what others would find to be interesting or weird people. But I've met them. I've met them. And they're all really chill and laid back. And they all want what's best for the people around them in their life. I'm not going to say what they do because, that completely invades their privacy. You do you in your life. I don't particularly care. But those people help this person do better with their life. And that's great. That's awesome. And I personally, you know, I surround myself with good people. My wife, to name a few, and John, Lewis, just two of my best friends in the whole fucking world. To name a few. And I try my best to keep myself occupied and not think so hard on the big and the little things. And I try to look forward to the future. Instead of being afraid of the future, I look forward to it. You know, that for me helped my treatment with anxiety or some shit or whatever you want to call it. I'm not a huge fan of the whole labeling shit for the sake of labeling stuff to help you feel better. I'm not a huge fan of that because to me that's a cop out. To me that's a complete total cop out. If you're labeling shit as like, "Oh, I can't do this because of my anxiety," or fuck reasons of beyond or reasons can't say here, but or what's a better example I think you can name? Um or it's because of my depression, or it's because of my anxiety, or because of my autism, or something like that. If you have to label something to help you feel better about certain things, that's not fucking helpful. That's not helpful at all. And that sounds more like a cop out than anything else. But at the end of it all, I'm pretty sure everyone in their life wants to do better for themselves. And that's good. That's awesome. And you need that. But I don't know. That's just what I've been wanting to talk about. So with that being said, that's what I've been wanting to ramble on today. So there's that, and I will see you guys next week. Laters.